So safety, I mean, that is a concern that a lot of people have. Traveling to Brazil, and even in Brazil, I mean, Brazilians worry about safety. Um, it's definitely a different culture there. Here we are used to, sometimes you forget to lock your door as you walk out, and it's okay. Or you forget to lock your car door or something, and it's okay. We're in nice suburban, quiet neighborhoods, typically, and it's not, at least where I served in Sao Paulo, crime rates are definitely much higher. One of the things that actually took me a while to get used to is just the fact that there's security guards everywhere, and those guards are armed. You walk into the post office, and there is a guy with a shotgun staring at you. I mean, it's crazy. You don't, and you're like, I'm in a post office, So think about the bank, I mean, the bank, there's like 2 security guards armed and stuff. And they have these like bulletproof shields that they like sit behind sometimes, or sometimes they'll walk around. They always have bulletproof vests on. I mean, it's disconcerting at first, because you're like, this makes me feel like I'm a criminal or something. Like, all these people are like staring at me thinking I'm suspicious. But it's just one of the sad realities of Sao Paulo right now, is that with drug trafficking and everything like that, there's a lot of people who try to steal money from banks and government offices and stuff like that, and even nice high-rise apartment buildings will have a security guard. So that does take a little getting used to. As far as, so now you're probably wondering, like, okay, so is there a real problem? Should I be worried for my safety? I would say, as a missionary, you're pretty safe. Brazilians are, across the board, Brazilians are pretty religious, and if they're not religious, they're suspicious. So that being said, a lot of people would not accept our message, but they would say, hey, I respect the work that you do. I think it's actually, a very beautiful work that you do, trying to, spread the gospel and stuff. I'm just not interested. I have the Bible, or I have the Catholic Church, or, something like that, and so they'll leave you alone. I mean, I would go into these favelas, which are basically ghettos in Brazil, and there were open air bars. There was I would sometimes smell pot in the air. I'd see these shady people, these like lookouts. Sometimes I could see that like drug deals were going down and stuff like that. But people left me alone, and I left alone them as well. For the most part, drug traffickers are very suspicious, and so they leave alone, God's people, who is what we were. So yeah, I mean, some of the places I went, would I go there as a tourist? No way, because I guaranteed would have been stood up and mugged. But being a missionary, I mean, really, like, the Lord protects you. I really felt a protection several times. And a side note on that as well, the police they're actually called military police, and they are just as dangerous as the criminals. And a lot of times, the general people wonder who's actually right and who's wrong. Is it the police, or is it the trafficantes, the traffickers? I mean, and again, like, the police would, you pull over someone for a speeding ticket, and the guy comes out with a shotgun, tells you to get out of the car. He like searches you, pats you down and everything. I mean, it's intense. Um, so, so yeah, I mean, I guess the answer to that question about security is yes, there are people who die every day of crazy like homicides and stuff like that. But being there on the Lord's errand, you are protected, and that is a really comforting thought. And I know, I knew a couple missionaries who were mugged. Well, not mugged in the sense of like actually hurt, but just like someone stopped them and said, "Hey, I want your book bag, or I want your camera or something." And so that does happen. I never was stopped. I mean, I think I'm a little bit bigger of a guy. Brazilians are normally smaller than like the typical Brazilian would be smaller than the typical American. So normally they left me alone, but like some of the smaller American guys, sometimes they get stood up. And when that happens, you're just very courteous. You as a missionary, you really don't have anything nice on you, and if you do, you shouldn't. Because that's just asking for trouble. If you've got like a really nice watch, forget about it. But we had mission cell phones that were pretty basic. Our book bags were full of pamphlets and scriptures. There really wasn't anything to steal, and the people knew that. And so I would just say be street smart. If on P Day you're carrying around your camera, don't be in the middle of a favela and just start, pull out this nice Nikon, and start like taking pictures and stuff. Don't do that. Just be street smart about it, and nothing will happen. So yeah,